The fragile visitors, Captain Marcus Kane, stood on the bridge of the exploration vessel Dawn's Promise, watching 3 alien ships approach through the viewscreen. After decades of searching the stars, humanity had finally made contact with another intelligent species. The ships were elegant crystalline structures that seemed to shimmer with their own inner light. "Incoming transmission, Captain," reported Communications Officer Beth Rodriguez, her fingers dancing across the control panel. The main screen flickered, revealing the alien delegation. The creatures were tall and graceful, with pale blue skin that seemed translucent. Their leader, who introduced himself as Ambassador Zelkor of the Ethereal Collective, moved with fluid motions that spoke of centuries of peaceful evolution. "Greetings, humans of Earth," Zelkor said, his voice musical through the universal translator. "We come seeking cultural exchange and knowledge. Your species intrigues us greatly." Dr. James Mitchell, the ship's chief medical officer, stepped forward eagerly. He had spent years preparing for this moment, studying theoretical xenobiology and first contact protocols. "Welcome aboard, Ambassador. We're honored by your visit and excited to learn about your people." As the alien delegation boarded the Dawn's Promise, Dr. Mitchell couldn't help but notice how carefully they moved. Despite their height of nearly 8 feet, they seemed afraid of bumping into anything or applying too much pressure to the ship's surfaces. "Please forgive our caution," Ambassador Zelkor explained, noticing the doctor's observation. "Our bodies are quite delicate compared to what we understand of human physiology. We must be careful not to damage ourselves or your vessel." The medical examination began in the ship's laboratory. Dr. Mitchell had prepared a comprehensive display of human anatomy and biological functions. As he explained how human organs worked, he noticed the aliens exchanging concerned glances. "Doctor," said Hila Vashti, the Ethereal's medical expert, "according to our scans, your cardiovascular system operates at dangerously low efficiency. Your heart rate suggests imminent system failure." Dr. Mitchell laughed. "This is perfectly normal for humans. Our resting heart rate is around 70 beats per minute." The aliens looked horrified. "Our hearts beat 300 times per minute when healthy," Vashti explained. "Your readings suggest you should be unconscious." Engineer Tom Bradley entered the lab, carrying repair tools. As he worked on a malfunctioning scanner, he accidentally cut his hand on a sharp metal edge. Blood flowed freely from the wound. The aliens gasped in terror. "Emergency medical assistance," Zelkor called out. Tom calmly reached for a first aid. Inkit cleaned the wound and applied a simple bandage. "Just a scratch," he said, continuing his work. The Ethereals stared in amazement. On their world, such an injury would require immediate surgical intervention and weeks of recovery in specialized healing chambers. "How do you survive with such fragile biology?" Hila Vashti asked in wonder. "We're tougher than we look," Tom replied with a grin, not knowing that his casual words would soon change everything the aliens believed about humanity. The dangerous truth Ambassador Zelkor couldn't sleep that night. The more he learned about humans, the more disturbed he became. In the privacy of his quarters, aboard the ethereal ship Serenity's Light, he reviewed the biological data his team had gathered. Nothing made sense, according to their understanding of life in the universe. Commander Lisa Thorne, the Dawn's Promise's security chief, had arranged a cultural exchange the next morning. She was a compact woman with scars on her arms from years of military service. As she demonstrated human combat training to the fascinated aliens, they watched in growing horror. "This is basic hand-to-hand combat," Lisa explained, moving through practiced motions. "Every human learns some form of self-defense." "You train your people to fight?" Zelkor asked, his voice trembling. "Of course. Earth can be dangerous. We have predators, hostile environments, and sometimes conflicts with other humans. Fighting skills help us survive." Gila Vashti scanned Lysa's body with her medical device. "Commander Thorne, you have suffered multiple bone fractures, tissue damage, and what appears to be severe head trauma. How are you still alive?" Lysa touched a scar on her forehead. "That's from a training accident when I was 16. Broke my skull pretty badly. Spent 3 weeks in the hospital, then back to normal." The aliens exchanged terrified glances. In their society, such injuries were fatal. The fact that humans could survive and recover from trauma that would kill an ethereal was deeply unsettling. Dr. Mitchell joined them, eager to share more about human biology. "Commander Thorne represents typical human resilience. We've evolved to heal from injuries, adapt to harsh conditions, and survive in environments that would challenge most species." "What kind of world produced such hardy beings?" Zelkor asked. "Earth is beautiful but unforgiving," Dr. Mitchell explained. "We have natural disasters, extreme weather, predatory animals, and diseases. Survival required us to become adaptable and tough." The ship's botanist, Dr. Rachel Porter, arrived carrying samples of Earth plants and foods. She offered the aliens some Earth fruits, explaining human nutrition. "Humans consume a remarkable variety of organic matter," she said proudly. "We can eat plants, animals, fungi, and even fermented substances. Our digestive systems are incredibly adaptable." Gila Vashti examined the food samples with her scanner. "These substances contain toxins that would poison most species. How do humans process such dangerous materials?" "Our livers are excellent at filtering toxins," Dr. Porter explained. "Plus, many humans regularly consume alcohol, caffeine, and spices that other species might find harmful. We actually enjoy the stimulation." The ethereals looked at each other with growing alarm. Ambassador Zelkor excused himself and returned to his ship for an emergency meeting with his senior staff. "My fellow ethereals," Zelkor began, his voice heavy with concern, "we may have made a terrible mistake. These humans are not the peaceful explorers they appear to be." Science Officer Nexa activated a holographic display showing their analysis of human biology. "Ambassador, the evidence is clear. Humans evolved on what we must classify as a death world, high gravity, toxic atmosphere, and dominated by predatory species. They survive injuries that would kill us," added Gila Vashti. "They consume poisons. For pleasure, they train for combat from childhood, and they speak of all this as normal." Zelkor stood up, his decision made. "We must warn the collective. These humans may seem fragile, but they're clearly hiding their true capabilities. Any species that could survive such a hostile world while appearing so weak must possess dangerous secrets." Unknown to the aliens, their greatest fear was about to be realized when they discovered humanity's military vessels. The hidden arsenal, 3 days after first contact, everything changed. The peaceful cultural exchange was interrupted when long-range sensors detected an approaching fleet. Captain Kane received an urgent transmission from Earth Command. "Captain Kane, this is Admiral Patricia Cross," came the stern voice over the communications array. "We're sending the battlecruiser Iron Resolve to your location. Recent intelligence suggests there may be hostile forces in your area." Ambassador Zelkor overheard the transmission. "Battlecruiser, Captain Kane, you told us the Dawn's Promise was an exploration vessel." "It is," Kane replied honestly, "but we always have military backup when exploring unknown space. The Iron Resolve is just a precaution." When the massive human warship dropped out of hyperspace, the ethereal delegation stared in shock. The Iron Resolve was 10 times larger than their elegant ships, built like a flying fortress of dark metal and angular weapons arrays. Captain Victoria Santos of the Iron Resolve was a veteran of humanity's colonial wars. Tall and imposing, with cybernetic implants replacing an eye and arm lost in battle, she embodied everything the ethereals feared about humans. "Captain Kane," Santos said as she boarded the Dawn's Promise. I've brought a full battle group. 6 destroyers, 3 frigates, and a carrier with fighter squadrons. Standard exploration support. Ambassador Zelkor felt faint. Standard support. That's an invasion fleet. This is normal for deep space exploration, Captain Kane explained. We never know what dangers we might encounter. Santos noticed the aliens' distress. Are these our new friends? They look nervous. Dr. Mitchell tried to ease the tension. Captain Santos, perhaps you could explain that human military protocols are simply for defense. Santos laughed grimly. Defense and offense, Doctor. The iron resolve carries enough firepower to sterilize a planet. Our missile bays hold fusion, warheads, plasma cannons that can cut through asteroid fields, and kinetic weapons that hit with the force of meteorites. Hila Vashti's scanner was detecting massive energy signatures from the human warship. Captain Santos, your vessel's weapon systems register as civilization-ending devices. Why would explorers need such terrible power? Because space is dangerous, Santos replied matter-of-factly. We've encountered hostile aliens before, space pirates, territorial species, and worse. Better to be over-prepared than dead. The Ethereals learned that humanity had already fought 3 interstellar wars against aggressive alien species. The humans had won each conflict through superior tactics, incredible resilience, and devastating weapons technology. You've fought multiple galactic wars? Zelkor asked weakly. Defended ourselves in multiple galactic wars, Captain Kane corrected. We prefer peace, but we're very good at war when necessary. Engineering Chief Marcus Webb gave the aliens a tour of the Iron Resolve's weapon systems. He was enthusiastic about human military technology, showing off plasma cannon arrays and missile tubes with obvious pride. Each of these fusion missiles has a yield of 50 megatons, Webb explained cheerfully. We can fire volleys of 100 missiles simultaneously. The plasma cannons can maintain continuous fire for hours, and our kinetic railguns achieve muzzle velocities of 15% light speed. The Ethereals watched in horror as Webb demonstrated the ship's defensive systems. Energy shields that could deflect attacks, armor plating that could withstand direct nuclear strikes, and automated defense systems that could track and destroy thousands of incoming projectiles. This is just one ship, Webb continued. Earth has over 3,000 vessels like this, plus orbital defense platforms, planetary shields, and mobile fortress bases. Ambassador Zelkor realized with growing terror that humanity hadn't just survived their death world. They had become the ultimate survivors, turning their harsh evolution into the foundation of a military machine that could challenge the galaxy itself. The peaceful first contact was about to become something much more dangerous. The warrior species revealed Ambassador Zelkor's worst fears were confirmed when the human fleet conducted routine military exercises near the diplomatic meeting. What humans called standard training procedures looked like preparation for galactic conquest to the terrified Ethereals. Commander Jake Harrison led a squadron of human fighters in a mock combat scenario. His pilots moved their ships through maneuvers that defied physics, pulling gravitational forces that should have killed any living being. The Ethereals watched in amazement as the human pilots endured accelerations that would liquefy their delicate bodies. How do they survive such forces? Hila Vashti whispered, monitoring the fighters with her medical scanners. G-force tolerance, explained Chief Medical Officer Dr. Patricia Holmes of the Iron Resolve. Human pilots can withstand up to 9 times Earth's gravity for short periods. We train from childhood to handle extreme physical stress. The demonstration continued with ground combat simulations. Human Marines, led by Sergeant Maria Gonzalez, showed the aliens their standard equipment. Each soldier carried weapons that could level buildings. wore armor that could stop antimatter rounds, and moved with coordinated precision that spoke of countless battles. Every human learns basic combat skills, Sergeant Gonzalez explained, disassembling and reassembling her plasma rifle with practiced ease. Military service is common in our society. We have over 2 billion trained soldiers on Earth alone. The Ethereals were horrified to learn that humans had turned warfare into a science. Military academies across human space taught advanced tactics, strategic planning, and weapons technology to millions of students every year. "You breed warriors," Zelkor accused. "We breed survivors," Captain Santos corrected. "Every human child learns to fight, adapt, and overcome challenges. It's how we've survived as a species." The humans showed their guests recordings of Earth's history, endless cycles of conflict, natural disasters, and survival against impossible odds. The Ethereals watched footage of humans fighting in frozen wastelands, burning deserts, and toxic battlefields. "Your species has been at war for thousands of years," Science Officer Nexa observed with growing horror. "We've been surviving for thousands of years," Dr. Mitchell replied. "Sometimes that meant fighting, sometimes cooperation. We've learned to excel at both." The most terrifying revelation came when the humans casually mentioned their expansion across the galaxy. Humanity had colonized over 800 worlds in just 2 centuries, establishing mining operations in asteroid fields, research stations in nebulae, and military bases in strategic locations. "We're explorers at heart," Captain Kane explained, "but we're also practical. Every human colony has defensive capabilities. Every trading post can become a fortress. Every exploration ship carries enough firepower to defend itself." Admiral Cross arrived aboard her flagship, the massive dreadnought Earth's Fury. Her ship was a mobile battle station, carrying enough weapons to destroy entire fleets. She was accompanied by a full Admiral's Council of humanity's most experienced military commanders. "Captain Kane, the Ethereal Collective has been broadcasting warnings about humanity across this sector," Admiral Cross reported. "They're claiming we're a dangerous warrior species, planning galactic conquest." Ambassador Zelkor stood up shakily. "Are you not? Your military might exceeds anything we've ever encountered. Your people speak casually of devastating weapons and endless wars." Admiral Cross studied the alien diplomat carefully. "Ambassador, humanity fights when we must, and explores when we can. We've never started a war, but we've finished several. We prefer trade and cooperation, but we're prepared for anything." The Admiral activated a holographic display showing human space. Thousands of star systems connected by trade routes, defended by patrol fleets, and populated by trillions of humans living, working, and expanding across the galaxy. "This is the human commonwealth," Cross explained, "built through exploration, defended through strength, and maintained through cooperation. We're not conquerors, we're survivors who became explorers." The Ethereals realized they had completely misunderstood humanity. This wasn't a peaceful species hiding dangerous capabilities. This was a warrior race that had chosen to explore the stars instead of conquering them. The real question was, what would happen when other species learned the truth about humanity's power? The birth of the Terran Empire, the misunderstanding between humans and the Ethereal Collective, spread across the galaxy within weeks. Ambassador Zelkor's panicked reports to his government described humanity as the ultimate warrior species, hiding behind a facade of peaceful exploration while building an unstoppable military machine. The Ethereal Collective made a fateful decision. Rather than attempt further diplomacy, they formed the Galactic Defense Alliance, uniting dozens of species against the human threat. Within months, a coalition fleet of over 10,000 ships assembled at the edge of human space. Admiral Cross received the ultimatum aboard her flagship. The alien alliance demanded that humanity abandon all colonies beyond the Sol system, dismantle their military forces, and submit to galactic oversight. The deadline was 30 days. They want us to return to Earth and give up everything we've built, Cross told the Emergency Council of Human Leaders. They see our strength as a threat that must be contained. Captain Kane, now promoted to Admiral for his role in First Contact, studied the intelligence reports. They've united against us because they fear what they don't understand. We're not the aggressors here. The human response was swift and decisive. Instead of retreating, the human Commonwealth declared the formation of the Terran Empire. Every human world, every colony, every military unit was unified under a single command structure designed for one purpose: survival against impossible odds. The transformation was remarkable. Within weeks, humanity's scattered colonies became fortress worlds. Trading posts became military bases. Exploration ships became scouts for the largest fleet humanity had ever assembled. Commander Elena Vasquez led the first engagement at the Kepler system. Her battle group of 50 ships faced a coalition fleet of 300 vessels. The aliens expected an easy victory against the numerically inferior humans. They were wrong. Human ships moved like predators, using tactics learned from centuries of warfare. They struck fast, hit hard, and vanished before the enemy could respond. Human pilots endured accelerations that killed alien crews, fought in conditions that destroyed enemy equipment, and adapted to situations that confused alien commanders. "Enemy fleet is breaking formation," reported Captain David Chen from his destroyer Storm's Edge. "They can't match our maneuver rates or weapons accuracy." The Battle of Kepler lasted 18 hours. When it ended, the coalition fleet was scattered. Half their ships destroyed or disabled. The human fleet had lost only 3 vessels. News of the victory spread across the galaxy. The fragile humans had defeated a fleet 6 times their size, using superior tactics, incredible resilience, and devastating firepower. More battles followed. At the Vega defense line, Admiral Santos commanded a fleet that held off 2,000 enemy ships for a month, buying time for civilian evacuations. At the Centauri offensive, human marines stormed alien space stations that were considered impregnable fortresses. But the turning point came when the aliens discovered the true extent of human military production. Earth's industrial capacity, built over centuries of expansion, could produce warships faster than the aliens could destroy them. Every human world was a potential military base, every human citizen a potential soldier. "We underestimated them completely," Ambassador Zelkor admitted to the failing alliance. "They're not hiding their capabilities, we simply couldn't comprehend them." The war ended after 2 years, not through victory or defeat, but through exhaustion. The Galactic Defense Alliance collapsed as member species realized they were fighting an enemy that grew stronger with every battle. The peace negotiations were held aboard Admiral Cross's flagship. The surviving alien leaders sat across from human diplomats, finally understanding what they had awakened. "The Terran Empire offers peace to all species," Admiral Cross announced. "We want trade, exploration, and cooperation. But we will never, again, allow our people to be threatened for the crime of being survivors." The galaxy had learned a hard lesson. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their weapons or their ships. It was their refusal to give up, their ability to adapt, and their determination to protect what they had built. The Terran Empire was born not from conquest, but from the simple human truth: we will not go quietly into the night. From that day forward, human ships carried a new message to the stars: we come in peace, but we are prepared for war.